Silver Springs, one of Florida's oldest roadside attractions. Let's go check this out. Cool springs here. Some old TV shows are filmed here, underwater scenes, Creature from the Black Lagoon, some stuff from that, and some other cool stuff. And there's some boats with a glass bottom. We take a ride out. You might see some manatees and all kinds of cool stuff. Some fish, clear water, turtles, gators, even some monkeys from when they filmed Tarzan back in the day. Some monkeys were left behind, I believe, as the story goes. Here we go. Let's go check this out. Welcome to Silver Springs. These trees are cool. Look at that. See any monkeys? Cool fountain. Looks like there's a $2 entry fee per person. Not bad. Costs extra to go on the boat ride, but just to get in the park, it's only $2. Hopefully those clouds go away and it'll look a lot nicer in the sun. Postcards from the past.
Pretty cool. There's a classic shot right there.
That tree is still here. I'm going to show it to you. There's some old photos of people on the boats.
Here's one that was sent from Silver Springs in 1906. The sender was taking a train to Baltimore.
Wow. Let's go check this place out. Here's a view of the springs and the boats. See that blue water? So nice here. Looks like you can rent kayaks in here, paddle boards. I think I saw a fish jump out there too. Way over there is that tree I showed you in the postcard too. We're gonna go check it out closer. But it's that curvy palm tree.
And here comes Jess.
Got some snacks.
What'd you get us?
Just a hamburger.
I see. The normal food court that they have here is not open, I guess, because of the times we are in. But there is a little food truck up there that has all kinds of stuff, so we just got a little cheeseburger just to snack on before we go on our boat ride.
Definitely a 50s style looking building here, or maybe earlier than that. It's a little information center and a gift shop and a food court area, and I think there's a museum. It's all closed right now, I believe. Looks like there's quite a line for the boat. It comes every 30 minutes. I don't know how many people fit on a boat, but it looks more than a boat's worth of people. So we'll see how long it takes. You can see one way out there.
So these world famous glass bottom boats have wowed visitors at Silver Spring since the 1870s. That's pretty unbelievable. In fact, the glass bottom boats were invented here, is what the website says. Pretty interesting.
Getting ready to get on a boat.
For a 30-minute journey down the Silver River.
You can see in there, glass bottom, you all sit around there and look down. Clear view right to the, as you can see out there.
Check your pockets in your purses. Make sure you got a sense of humor. If you don't, I'm going to have a whole lot more fun. 1 year. Nobody better to take it down. And folks, we're here.
This captain over here, Oscar, has been a captain of these boats for 51 years. That's insane.
I lost 142 pounds. But in that time frame, this used to make fun of me. I'm okay with that. But the worst part was these lines right here. They said, oh, you need to make them wider so we can get down the line. No, because then you got to lean further over to look into the center of the boat. And if you got to do that, it's a lot more uncomfortable. Because most people, most of y'all, when you do that, if you hadn't leaned over much further.
You can take all the pictures and videos you want, folks. But if I'm going to be in one of those pictures or videos, would you do me a solid and give me a heads up? I need to be able to sit up, suck it in, and put my best face on. Hey, life's hard enough for 66 and single in Marion County without y'all making me look like Jabba the Hutt on Facebook. Last but not least, for those orange things you see above your heads. By the time y'all figured out how to use that thing, I am already out there on the shoreline. Fact is, this is the Yoholo. It is not the Titanic. There is no code that says I have to be the last one off, and I'm not going to be. I'm pushing 66, a little overweight, and on blood pressure meds. If I'm running, jumping, or swimming, trust me, something wicked happens. 123 spring feed us approximately 805 million gallons of water a day. And that water was tested not long ago. It's 98.104% pure. The number one contaminant in our water is called nitrates. That is a base compound for most fertilizers. The damage that causes, you can see it on that grass down there beneath the glass. That's algae growing on our ribbon, or eelgrass as it were. Now, algae is an oxygen depleter. That means it sucks the oxygen right out of the water. If this was a lake, that would be deadly. But we're not a lake, we're a river. 805 million gallons of water every day gives us fresh water on average every 38 minutes. And that water comes out of holes in the ground we call spoon vents, like the one underneath us right there. That one, that's the spring of stars. We call it that because people, dignitaries and people who are full of themselves, usually Jaguar fans, they'll come over here, sit here for a minute, and then go back to the dock. Y'all ain't going back that fast. That's 23 feet down to that little gray slab there, pumping out in the neighborhood of 230 to 250,000 gallons of water an hour. That's a lot of water. A couple of turtles coming up there. Anybody ever see a movie called Creature from the Black Lagoon? Oh, you got the hat on, huh? Now, all of the underwater scenes in that movie were filmed right here. In fact, the cave coming up underneath my glass up there, that is in that movie. That's the Creature Cavern. 28 feet down at the deepest point, pumping out in the neighborhood of 500,000 gallons of water an hour. This next spring is the abyss. Now, for 140 years, not quite 140 years, this was known as the bridal chamber. The state didn't like the story, so they changed the name. And I'm not really sure why they changed the name, because if you think about it, bridal chamber and abyss mean the same thing. Two divers, actually, I get the look from women, but the men laugh. I don't know why. Two divers surveyed that spring back in 2013. It's 81 feet deep. Wow. It's not as precarious as it looks. You go down there about 20 feet and it slopes over in this direction underneath this hump right here. And it opens up into a huge chamber down there, 39 feet in diameter at its widest point. Now the divers did come back up. They do things like clean the relics, the wreckage, the statues, that wreckage there. They'll do the glass on the bottoms of the boat, but they do something else. They pick up trash. Any of y'all want to guess what the #1 piece of trash was they picked up here?
Spring water bottles.
Who said spring water bottle? No. Who's a smart aleck that held up their cell phone? Coming up underneath me are 18 pieces of wood. 5 or 6 of them are readily visible. Those pieces of wood fit together and make up a 63-foot long dugout canoe. 63 feet's kind of awesome. It means it's royal or ceremonial. But the best part about it is its intended use, not its age, not its intended use. It has been carbon dated to being somewhere around 590 to 620 years old. We know that year because that's when Spain evacuated. When they left, the Timocon had been fighting the British and then Americans for a little over 300 years, decided to leave with on a boat.
Oh.
I have jumped out of planes. That boater jumped out my boat, my inner 3-year-old girl jumped out. I am not fond of them things at all. Now, they're not violent, they're not vicious or none of that. That's not why. 80 some odd years they've been here, ain't nobody ever got sick. Nobody's ever got scratched, nobody's got bitten. No, I'm not fond of them because, well, we call them things feces flingers.
Yes, they are.
And I am not fond of being fun upon. If you happen to see one and they're in a 3-point stance like a football player on the defensive scene, that empty hand's loading up and y'all need to go long. They have the accuracy of Tom Brady with 20 yards. Now, in full disclosure, when I say Tom Brady's accuracy in 20 yards, I'm referring to, of course, with a deflated football. He's on our team. I can talk that now. That dock you see over there is the Lloyd Bridges Sea Hunt docks. If you've ever seen an episode of that old TV show, you've seen Silver Springs. There's something of Silver Springs in every episode. You can see some people up there. Those are called the indigenous tourists. we get them by the boatload right here. That's that log with turtles on it.
I see them.
Oh well.
Oh, look at the bird.
There's another building up there alongside of that pole barn, the Blackberry Pavilion. That's probably the most popular building on this end of the park. It has the restrooms in it for native wars. The problem is we don't have a treaty or a truce with the Seminole Nation. So technically we're still at war with them. And if we are, they're winning, and I don't mean by a little bit. They're whooping them. And that tree is my proof. That's the Lucky Horseshoe Palm. Tradition holds that if you get your picture taken in the crux of the Lucky Horseshoe Palm, you're going to get 5 years of good luck. I have that with the absolute assurance of the marketing director of the Sunhall Hard Rock Cafe. They own 8 of the Hard Rock Cafes, but they also own the name. So if you've ever been to one of their properties, you've either been at one of theirs or a franchise unit. Either way, they're getting a piece of the pie. Now, they say that if you want that 5 years of good luck, you've got to have both feet in the crux of the tree. 1 foot in and 1 foot out is only going to give you 2.5 years of good luck. And I've heard tell that sitting on it gives you 5 years of half-ass luck, but I'm not sure about that. I do know you don't want to do it barefoot. See all that white up there? Yeah, that ain't paint. And that, by the way, is a female anhinga right there. Straight pointed feet tells me it's the anhinga. And the coloring of its throat and collar tells me that it is a female. The male of that genre is all jet black. And there's Mammoth Springs, the largest in the Western Hemisphere. Don't drink the water from the river, by the way. We have manatees, alligators, covered birds, and fish, and you stuff in this river, you really don't want to drink it. But if you want to have fun with it, take an empty bottle, fill it up with this river water, and take it home with you. Put it in your refrigerator. Let it sit there for about a week. Then turn around, take it out, put it on the kitchen counter, and go in your living room. Send somebody in there you don't like. Have them open it for you. It's going to smell like a skunk died in it. Here's a young gar, G-A-R, right there. I say young only because it ain't big. We've got some that are as long as the pane of glass there.
Where's the manatees?
Where are they? They're in the water usually. Nobody in the 30-minute zone has seen one today. We had 2 of them up here yesterday, and they saw them down at mile marker 1.4 downriver. Monkeys are at 1.7. Doris Day did scenes of the glass bottom boat here. Jerry Lewis did scenes of the Don't Give Up the Ship here in '59. Smokey and the Bandit 3. Tom Cruise did The Legend in '85. Hoot. Jimmy Buffett did a movie here back in 2008 called The Hoot. Bill. That one in the middle there leaning up against Bill, that's Harvey. Got another one over there leaning left, that's Bill. Yeah, it's Bill, Harvey, and Bill. Now, Bill, as in left-leaning Bill, not bending over backwards Bill, but left-leaning Bill. He's the more popular of the trio. She wrote a book with a fellow named Patterson.
Captain Joe, you got a copy?
No?
When you come back by Bird Island, come in there on the south side of it.
Roger that.
So we just finished up our little glass bottom boat tour. We had an excellent guide. It's really funny and very knowledgeable. And when you leave the glass bottom boats, you just throw a tip on the glass, giving you guys a heads up, because I didn't know. And we didn't have any cash, but we're gonna go try to find an ATM and see if we can get him a tip, because he was really that good.
Osceola statue.
Got a little bit of a wingspan, but not much.
There's this famous tree. You could line up probably some old shots.
Yeah, cool shot of them.
That's the same tree. It's grown a little different. It's cool that it's still here. It's in those old postcards. Cool, huh? Still kicking. The horseshoe tree. So nice here. So peaceful. The water's so blue. There's all the fish. I'd love to go kayaking here. One of these times I'm coming back from kayaking here. Over here on this stage, they have concerts like Willie Nelson's played here, Oreo Speedwagon. I think he even said The Who played here. Imagine that. Cool venue. Look, there's an old boat for like a snack bar or something. They converted it. That's cool. This would be a cool place to see a concert for sure. Definitely a converted old boat. Used as a concession stand. That's cool. There's the old stairs to get in. Just took the bottom out of it. Neat. This is the second time I've been here. So the first time I was here a few years ago, there's a little trail on the other side. We're walking down the trail and there's no way to get out of it. It's like a boardwalk and it has the railings. And there was this thing coming at us. We thought it was like a cougar or something. or like, you know, like a cat, a large cat, but it was a monkey and it was coming right for us. We're like, oh no, because there was nowhere to go. And at the last second, he jumped off into the trees. It was kind of scary because we didn't know if he was going to attack us or throw poo at us. Maybe today we'll see one. I'm going to go take a walk over there in a second. So let's see if we see a monkey today. Some cool stuff in the window here, some old pictures and relics and stuff. That looks like one of those statues. I don't know if it's an original one, but or if it's a replica of the statues that are down on the bottom, left over from the I Spy TV show.
I think it's replicas, but there's a cool sign too. Looks like
Yeah.
the original advertisement for the glass bottom boats.
Mm-hmm.
They have this whole facility here that when we came here before, probably about, I'd say it's been about 2 years now, they had a little cafe and a museum, and it's all still there, it's just not open, I guess because of the times we are in, as they say. But hopefully all this will open back up. They had an ice cream store, they had a place where you could get like cheeseburgers and hot dogs and all that kind of thing. But right now your only option is bring your own food or get some from the food truck. We're going to take a little walk on the Ross Allen Island boardwalk here at Silver Springs. And last time we were here, we saw a monkey. And they have little warning signs here not to feed them. It's really important not to feed them.
Never approach them either.
Although they will approach you.
If you are bitten or scratched by a wild monkey, immediately wash the wound and seek medical attention, according to the Center of Disease Control. There's also a fine of $500 for feeding a monkey.
I don't know why, but monkeys scare me, at least in the wild. The last time we were here, we saw a monkey running right down this railing, and at first I thought it was a cat or something. When we got closer, we realized it was a monkey, and I was like, oh my god! I freaked out a little bit.
I think I have some footage that I will insert right now. Down here
That's pretty good.
is where you rent kayaks down here, this little river. So this flows out into the spring here. And it looks like it goes off to the left there too, but look down there. It's the kayak rental place.
Awesome.
It's only $15 too for I think a half hour or maybe an hour. But even, that's cheap. You can get it for the whole day too. And you have the option of getting a canoe, a sit on top, or a sit inside the kayak, which is cool.
I totally do if it wasn't for the alligators, but I don't know, just knowing that there's alligators in here, even though I know they probably wouldn't bother you, freaks me out a little bit.
I'm not worried about the alligators.
I'd probably turn myself over in the kayak.
Look at that water, those those fish down there. Probably can't see
Yeah,
them.
it's so beautiful and clear. You know, it's refreshing right now because it's hot
I'd
outside.
love to just jump in there. And off into the jungle.
Now, if this doesn't look like the Jungle Cruise, I don't know what does. The natural Jungle Cruise. Here's a little vignette that's dedicated to Bruce Mozart. And he was a man who worked with Silver Springs and visiting production companies for decades. And he took publicity shots of some of the biggest stars that visited, such as Jane Wyman, Gregory Peck, Ginger Stanley, Jane Mansfield, and Howard Hughes. Silver Springs had been a film location since 1915, so that's pretty cool. And it says for decades he kept a studio right next door to the park and was a big part of this community. That's pretty awesome. So what was that story that you were telling me about Jane Mansfield? Because I love her.
It was a movie in 1955 called Underwater, and they had a premiere here at Silver Springs. And as like a publicity thing, they had all these actors came in and people from the movie, and they showed the premiere underwater. People were wearing like, you know, oxygen tanks and aqua lungs.
That's crazy.
Jane Mansfield apparently came. She wasn't invited, but she showed up with somebody. I get maybe one of the guests, and I guess she jumped in the water, and as she jumped in the water, her top fell off. So
I bet that stole the show.
Totally, and it was a big publicity thing for her. It was obviously the media caught wind of it, and I don't think there's any photos of it, but there's definitely a few photos of her at that event.
The beautiful blonde bombshell at Silver Springs. How cool would that have been to see?
If I can find some, I'll insert them here.
And if not, we will not insert them here.
If not, we'll edit this whole part out.
Please take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. All right, will do.
Well, that's going to do it for our fun adventure today here at Silver Springs. It's a really cool place. I recommend checking it out. The water's so clear. It's so nice here. The trees are, there's alligators and I'm stupid.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of My Day Off. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us to Silver Springs. If you enjoy Old Florida, this is definitely the place for you. And definitely take a ride on these awesome historic glass bottom boats. I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, but you can also rent canoes, you can rent kayaks, and who knows what kind of wildlife you'll see, because there's alligators, there's all sorts of birds,
Manatees, turtles.
We saw turtles, and monkeys if you're lucky, or not lucky, according to our tour guide on the glass bottom boat. But anyway, it's really a great place. Even if you're just going to bring a picnic and sit here and relax, highly recommend. It's quiet and pleasurable. So if you liked this video, please give us a big thumbs up and like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you real soon on the next My Day Off. Bye. Everybody.